Okay, over to the host. Okay, uh, welcome to our Pali Sutta study series, and every week we start with this Sutta study um, series, and this time we are going to start our Sutta study series from where we have left. Last last time we started Sallekha Sutta, and we have already done quite a few slides. And today we will start from there onward, Majjhima Nikaya. And this has been quite a few works. We have been studying the Majjhima Nikaya from the very beginning. In this Sutta study series, you are invited to join us and join actively with our Sutta study series. You are welcome to discuss, participate, and ask questions, or also pass your comments. And let's get started with salutation to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhas. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhas. Namo tas bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha and the noble doctrine of the Buddha and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Um, Hello, everyone, and okay, over here with the um, we have discussed up to this point in the Sutta, and today we are going to start from slide number 19. Pare isuki bhavisanti mayamitha anisuki bhavisamati sallekho karaniyo. Let me uh, over here. So when the other people have issa, that means uh, envious or jealous. Issa is also jealous. Mayametta anusike bhavisamati sallako karaniyo. The effacement should be practiced, that we shall not be envious, we shall not be jealous. And even when the others are jealous or even if the others are envious, you have to make sure, the practitioner has to make sure that you are not disturbed by that. You are not going to reciprocate with the same envious, same jealousy feeling. Pare machari bhavisanti mayamita amachari bhavisamati sallekho karaniyo. Machari is greedy or avaricious, and you are close fister, you don't want to share anything with the others. So even when the others are doing it for you, you should not do it. And as a great spiritual practitioner, you have to make sure that you are not in the wrong path. You are rather amachari. We shall not be avaricious, and that is the kind of sallekha, effacement, that one has to do if you are a good practitioner. And pare satha bhavisanti, mayameth asatha bhavisami. Satha means fraudulent, or maybe we can say someone with cunning or wrong intentions or some ulterior motives. And the practitioner, even if the others are practicing, acting like that, you still do not practice that way. So uh, that is the other thing that we have to be mindful about. Um, in fact, when someone is, even if someone is avaricious or fraudulent, if you are not avaricious, if you are not fraudulent, and eventually the other person will get the right message, whether whether he or she gets that right message or not, you still have to make sure that your inner peace, your inner confidence, and your conviction with your confidence with the Dhamma still be there. So it's really important when you do that, you practice the right way. Pare mayavi bhavisanti mayametta amayavi. So mayavi means deceitful. There can be a lot of people, they try to deceive you, they try to play games, they always are not honest, trustworthy, but you don't have to be the same. You still have to make sure that you are in the right path. So amayavi. And pare tadha bhavisanti mayamita atadha bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. Tadha means obstinate or stern and not flexible. And so this is very important again. When you are a practitioner and you are in the spiritual path, you are walking along that path, you have to be flexible, you have to be softer, you should not be so stern. um, if there is something that you have to learn or from the others, you still can do that. If you are very fixed, and it will be very hard to. So there are certain cases you have to be really strong and stern, but in many cases you also have to be like more delicate, more softer, and more flexible. So obstinate in the sense it is in the wrong uh, way. And pare atimani bhavisanti mayametta anatimani bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. When the others are arrogant, you are not going to be arrogant. Ati mana is like deceit. Atimani is more deceit. Anatimani is na atimani means you are very simple and humble, and you are very down to earth. So this one is a really important factor for a spiritual practitioner. If you have ego, if you are arrogant, if you are headstrong, then you have a very difficult time to go along the spiritual path. It's really important that you keep practicing and you be humble and simple. And no matter how much you gain, the more you are in the higher strata of this spiritual path, you are more and more humble and simple and more down to earth. And a lot of people in the world, whenever they have something more from the average people, they try to be little more arrogant and more highly egoistic. Let's say like you have more money, or you have more education, or you have more property, or you have some social status. Maybe you are a famous person, or maybe you are a superstar. And all these things, those things can really fool you, can make you a fool actually, and to make you an arrogant person. Let's say like a politician, or um, like different ways, like you are like a different person. You have more attraction from the audience, from the crowd, from the people. And so you should not be arrogant. Even a religious leader, spiritual leader, a monk or a nun, or somebody, if you are a famous person, because just because you are getting attraction from everyone, you should not be arrogant. And that is very important. um, it's hard, but it's very important. Only if you are mindful about that, you can actually come out of this defilement. This is a very powerful defilement. This can make a fool out of you. Okay, pare dubbacha bhavisanti, mayamitta suacha bhavisamati, salleko karaniyo. We shall be easy to admonish, even if the other people are not difficult to admonish, like dubbacha and suacha, admonish and not admonish. So it's very important that you are ready to listen to others, and you are ready to accept if there is something for you to learn. Remember, there is a story about Venerable Sariputta being the second high command in the Buddhist order, and Venerable Rahula, the young 7-year-old small novice monk. One day, when Venerable Sariputta was sweeping the ground, the young Rahula Samanera, he saw that the robe of Venerable Sariputta is touching the ground, and Venerable Rahula mentioned about that, and then he was so humble and so simple, and he was very ready to accept it. And it is said like Venerable Sariputta bowed towards that direction as a mark of respect to that wonderful admonishing, or advising, or reminder of young Venerable Rahula. So even Venerable Sariputta in Rahulavada Sutta, it is said, Venerable Rahula every day when he does clean the temple yard, he would take some dust into his hands and throw it into the air, seeking advices, as much as those small particles of the dust. So much advice. May I gain so many advices daily. So that kind of suacha and that kind of anatimani qualities can really make you a better spiritual practitioner. Pare papamitta bhavisanti, mayametta kalyanamitta bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. Others will have bad friends, and we shall have good friends here. Effacement should be practiced thus. So, Papa Mitta and Kalyana Mitta, they can make a huge difference in one's life. If you have bad friends, you don't know where you are going to, where you might be easily distracted to and led to the wrong path very easily by the Papa Mitta or the wrong friends, bad friends. So we the good friends can be the determining most powerful determining factor in one's life. And once Venerable Ananda said to the Buddha, the Blessed One, this whole Buddha Sasana, the Sangha order, like the 50% of the Sangha community is so full of it all dependent on Kalyana Mitta and good friends. And the Blessed One said, Ananda, don't say so. Don't say so, Ananda. It is not 50% of this Sangha community. It is 100% of the Sangha community, totally dependent on the Kalyana Mittata. So it's really, really important when we have good friends. They are hard to come by, definitely. Like Papa Mittas can be many, bad friends can be so many around you. They can be in disguise to you as good friends, but they can have some ulterior motives, wrong intentions, and all the wrong reasons. When you have something, they will be around. When you don't have anything, they will run away. Only those good friends, only those Kalyana Mitta friends will be there for you anytime, anywhere, whenever you are in trouble. That is why we need to make sure that we have good Kalyana Mitta friends in our life. When we are in trouble, when we are off the track, Kalyana Mittas can always take us back to the right path. In daily chantings, there is a very, very important chanting called Imina Punya Kammena Mame Bala Samagamo Satang Samagamo Hotu Yava Nibbana Patya. That means whenever, by the power of this good merit, may I always be associated with good Kalyana Mitta friends as long as I achieve the Nibbana. Until and unless I achieve the Nibbana, may I always be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. So you have to pray for them every day. If you have good Kalyana Mitta friends, they will protect you, they will guide you, they will bless you, they will help you all the time. That's why we need Kalyana Mitta friends in our life. And although they are difficult to find, there are still very good Kalyana Mitra friends. And if you find them, make sure you are in touch with them. Even though they are hundreds and thousands of miles away from you, you still can be in touch with them. Do not lose track of them. They can be very, very important to your life and also to your sansaric journey. So Kalyana Mitra is a really important factor here. Pare pamatta bhavisanti mayametta appamatta bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. Others will be negligent, but we have to be diligent. We shall be diligent. That is the effacement that one should do, a practitioner should do. And if you remember the last words of the Buddha, Handadani bhikkhave yamayantayami vo vayadhamma sankhara appamadena sampadeta. That means, monks, I address you and make sure you are diligent and make the best effort to come out of this samsara. Be diligent, work hard, and be determined so that you can actually come out of this samsara and achieve the nibbana. So this is the Buddha's other very important advice to us. In Dhammapada, there is a separate chapter. The second chapter of Dhammapada is called Appamada Vagga, totally dedicated to the diligence, and different kinds of diligence is there. It is not to be indulge in bad karma, it is always to be indulge in good karma, and always be mindful, always be deterministic. Virya paramita and aditthana paramita, they are all part of this appamatta. Pare asaddha bhavisanti mayametta saddha bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. When the others are faithless, we shall still be faithful. Faithful in the sense faithful towards the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and faithful towards the good spiritual path. And it's important. Saddha is a really, really important factor, and Saddha is mentioned in so many different contexts of the Dhamma, and in all these senses. Sometimes Saddha can be the first and foremost factor in one's spiritual path. Without Saddha, you cannot do much. And Saddha is such an important part. It can make you spiritual, it can make you flexible, it can make you humble, it can make you all these, good karma, good activities, good intentions. Saddha can be the very root, very first step in that ladder. So Saddha is a really important um, quality again. Pare ahirika bhavisanti mayametta hirimana bhavisamati salleko karniya. When the others are shameless, we have to be shameful. Shameful, hiri and uttapa, if we take the other one, anuttapa and uttapa, and hiri, ahirika and hirimana. So hiri and uttapa are called lokapalaka dhammas. They are actually the dhammas that control the entire world. And as humans, if we don't have hiri and uttapa, hiri in the sense shameful to be engaged in wrong things. So whenever we see something wrong, and we should be shameful, we should be shy away from those wrong doings. And ottapa is also fear, like you should be afraid of doing something wrong. And in Buddha's advices, Dhamma, it is always mentioned that this hiri and ottapa, they go together, shame and fear of doing something wrong. It's really important. And Buddha said, Anumattesu vajjesu bhayadasavi sikkhata sikkhapadesu. As a practitioner, monk or nun, or even a lay person, if you have shame and if you have fear of doing something wrong, if you are afraid of breaking your sila, you will always be in the right path. So they are really important. You should make sure that hiri and uttapa are an integral part of your spiritual life. And bahusutta, appasutta, pare appasutta bhavisanti mayametta bahusutta bhavisamati salleko. So here little learning versus great learning. This is actually about the Dhamma. Learning Dhamma is really very important to all of us. And every day we have to learn at least one Dhamma talk. At least one Dhamma talk. You have to listen to them, and that will enhance, that will widen your perspective on the Dhamma. So it's important that you listen to the Dhamma. And Buddha said, it is said in many Dhamma advices, Sunata Dhareta Charata Dhamme. So you have to listen to the Dhamma, and you have to learn it, and you have to practice it. Sunata and Dhareta and Charata. So these are the three things that we have to do. So they are all part of the learning. So Buddhist education is not only listening, not only learning, but also practicing. And it is also not only feeding the head, but also balancing the head and the heart. So it's important that we learn the Dhamma. Learning Dhamma is the maybe the one most important aspect of our spiritual journey, we can say. So the more you learn the Dhamma, the more wider your perspective can be. And you see, Saddha and these things, Bahusutata, these are all very important. And also that can shy away your many other defilements. So it's important that you know what you are doing, and it's important that you are listening to those great Dhamma talks, Dhamma desanas, and read the Dhamma. There are now lots and lots of internet Dhamma available, and also have to be very careful to find out the right Dhamma. Out of the many pebbles that we can find, there are beautiful, powerful, and very enriching gems and jewelry everywhere in the Dhamma. So you have to be smart, you have to be skillful in finding the right Dhamma there too. Pare kusita bhavisanti mayametta aradha virya bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. That means lazy against energetic. And it's very easy to become lazy, but it's very hard to become energetic. In every sense of the word, energy or virya is a very powerful energy, powerful factor, and we have to be energetic. And if you lose our strength psychologically and physically, you might lose track of it, and it is very easy. You can divert yourself to the wrong path. It's easy when you are lazy. It's easy to go downward, and when you are more energetic, more deterministic, then you can actually go upward. It is one of the most, again, important parameters, important practices, and it is all our own energy that we can get ourselves into the right track. Yeah, so there is no end to this energy, this virya, when it comes to fight against the laziness. Pare mutta sati bhavisanti mayametta upattita sati bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. So unmindful against uh, versus mindfulness. Mindfulness is again a very important thing, and every time when we are mindful, we know what we are doing. We recognize, we identify what's going on in our system, then it will be easier. Mindfulness is compared to a security guard. It's like a gatekeeper, and when the mindfulness is in force, always the outside forces will not come and establish in yourself. This is like Iron Dome in Israel nowadays. They are using what we call Iron Dome, and against um, the um, other uh, weapons that are coming from the other side. Whenever there is some rocket or something coming from the other side, this side is shooting the Iron Dome, and that way all those missiles will be deflated in the air. So mindfulness is just like that. You are very mindful of whatever happens. And in fact, here in the mindfulness, let's say like you are meditating on Anapanasati, you you're not reacting to that. You're not like fighting against that. You're rather observing only. It's very important to observe. It's very important to identify, recognize these things. And identify and recognize alone can make a big difference in our bhavana. Of course, there are certain other ways for you to practice more, but one of the most fundamental theory of meditation is mindfulness and just recognizing, because our mind is so fast, and our mind can be diverted anytime, and all those things that can happen to us in our mind, if we are not mindful, those defilements can easily establish deep rooted within ourselves. That's why it's really, really important that we practice mindfulness, that we are mindful about whatever happens within us. Again, another very important factor here. Pare duppanya bhavisanti mayametta panya sampanna bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. So when the others will lack wisdom, we shall possess wisdom. That's another effacement. Also, really kind of a difficult task. How do we get wisdom? How do we possess wisdom? Uh, some might say, how do we do that? Like we don't have it. We have it. Whatever we have, that's it. But wisdom can be also enhanced according to Buddhism. When you practice bhavana, when you practice meditation, you can definitely possess more and more wisdom. And it is said, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. These are the Tisikka or uh, triple training that we have. First, it is the bodily and verbal restraint, Sila, and then the mental restraint, Samadhi. And when you are in complete control of your bodily, verbal, and mental activities. You are so mindful and you are tranquilized yourself, and you are able to concentrate. When you are able to concentrate, then you are also able to um, project or generate more and more wisdom. That's why meditation is very, very important. And eventually, all these factors are leading to the panya. Pare sanditi paramasi adhanagahi duppati nissaggi bhavisanti mayametta asanditi paramasi anadhanagahi suppati nissaggi bhavisamati salleko karaniyo. So over here, others will adhere to their own views, hold on to them tenaciously, and relinquish them with difficulty. We shall not adhere to our own views or hold on to them tenaciously, but shall relinquish them easily. Effacement should be practiced thus. So this again is, I think, when you have samadhi, it is easier for you to come out of the michaditi. And also the what we call sakkaya ditthi, self view or self identification, can also be play a part of this. And so, when you open more and more, when you practice more and more mindfulness and uh, meditation, and when you are possessed of those previous qualities that we mentioned, all these 44 qualities can be mutually helpful and also lead finally to the Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahanta Magga Phalas. I think with that, we can maybe next time we can start discussing more about this inclination of mind. And so, with that, we conclude for today. Um, so, if you have any question, it is time for you to ask some questions, or else we can conclude for today. Is everything okay? Okay, so with that, then we conclude today. Thank you everyone for joining us with the Sutta study series. and looking forward to seeing you next week with more insightful um, dive to the Sallekha Sutta. By the power of this sutta discussion and learning the Dhamma, may you be well, happy, and healthy and safe wherever you are. May you and your family members, friends, and relatives also be well, happy, and healthy. May all sentient beings, including and may all sentient beings, including devas, brahmas, and all those spiritually rich sentient beings in the upper realms, and also the other sentient beings in the lower realm, and all the seen and unseen, humans and unhumans, near and far, all sentient beings be well, happy, and healthy. May they all be blessed by the noble triple gem. Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitatta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavattvantarayo sukhe dighayuko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotte bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotte bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena Sada sotte bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.